Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Adnan Aman is here with a new video. In today's video, I will discuss some of the important university questions related to the novel Pride and Prejudice. In previous video, we have discussed the overview and characters of this very novel. अगर अभी तक आपने उस वीडियो को नहीं देखा तो उस वीडियो का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया गया है। पहले आप उन कैरेक्टर्स वाली वीडियो को देख लें, उसके बाद फिर आपको ये सवाल अच्छे तरीके से समझ में आएंगे। सो मूविंग टूवर्ड्स द क्वेश्चंस, द वेरी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट मे बी आस्क्ड इन अ यूनिवर्सिटी पेपर इज अबाउट द टाइटल ऑफ द नॉवेल. What is important about the title? As we know that this novel has two names. The first name is First Impressions and the second name is Pride and Prejudice. So the question about Pride and Prejudice means that what are the characters which are proud characters and what are the characters which become victim of prejudice. And to make this question answered, a student must have completely read the plot or the summary of this novel. And if a student reads the plot of this novel, he or she can easily assess that which character is proud character and which character becomes prejudiced about the other characters. And in the video of the plot of this novel, I will discuss the details of those characters who are the pride characters and who are the prejudiced characters. Question number 2. What conflicts did you notice in Pride and Prejudice? Were they physical, moral, intellectual, or emotional conflicts? As we know that there are many conflicts in this novel. The conflicts of class, the conflicts of gender, the conflicts of emotions. So these conflicts are presented through different characters. For example, there are two classes which are presented in this novel, the elite class and the middle class. So there is a conflict between these two classes, and the characters are divided between two genders. Some of the characters are male characters and they present male gender, and the other characters which are also prominent part of the characters are female characters. So there is a conflict between male and female gender. So we can say that many characters represent many conflicts, and those conflicts are of all types. I mean to say that those conflicts are physical conflicts, moral conflicts, intellectual conflicts, and emotional conflicts as well. So this may be the question, that what are the conflicts which are demonstrated by the characters. Again, this will be cleared when we will read about the characters and the plot summary of this novel. Moving towards the next question, how does Jane Austen reveal characters in Pride and Prejudice? Jane Austen has portrayed many characters in this novel, and those characters are revealed one by one. For example, there is a Bennet family. This is a middle class family. Mr. and Mrs. Bennet have daughters, 5 daughters, and Bennets are worried about the marriages of their daughter, and then the revelation of characters starts. For example, Mr. Bingley and Mr. Darcy comes to that countryside. After that, the characters associated with these characters are also revealed. Miss Bingley, the sister of Mr. Bingley, Lady Catherine, the aunt of Mr. Darcy, Georgiana Darcy, the sister of Mr. Darcy. So, how these characters are revealed and how this revelation of the characters help the novel in its development may be the next question. The next question is about the themes. First of all, we will discuss what is a theme. Basically, theme is the central idea which is presented in any fictional work. And the question may be asked as, what are some themes in the story? How do they relate to the plot and characters? So, before going to the discussion about the themes, we will discuss the difference between story and a plot. The plot of any fictional work is about the summary or the logical arrangements of the event. And as far as the story is concerned, story is the perception inferred by the reader from the plot. So, as far the themes are concerned, there are many central ideas which are presented by the writer in the plot of this novel. For example, some of the major themes include class difference, gender discrimination, marriage for economy, etc. As far as the class difference is concerned, there are two classes which are presented in this novel. And as far as the gender discrimination is concerned, women gender and the exploitation of women gender is presented. And another theme that is called marriage for economy. In that very age, people of middle class were used to be worried about the marriages of their offsprings, especially daughters, and they used to find refuge in the economic benefits. As far as the Bennets are concerned, they also were in try to find the economically strong and vibrant family for their daughters. So these are some of the major themes of this novel. The next question is, what are some symbols in Pride and Prejudice? How do they relate to the plot and characters? Symbols are basically some symbolic things which are used in the plot and they represent some of the ideas. For example, the rural area, the dance parties, the weather conditions, and the things like this which are presented in the plot can be called as the symbols. And every symbol represents something. The next question is a subjective question. I mean to say that this is a question about your own opinion. And the question is, does the novel end the way you expected? Why? What is the primary purpose of the novel? Do you find the purpose important or meaningful? So, this question is totally about the subjective analysis of the students. And if the student has keenly observed the characters and keenly read the novel, the plot, the summary, or the text of the novel, he or she can make own analysis. For example, the question is said, does the novel end the way you expected? The student can answer about their expectation, why it is so, what is the primary purpose of the novel. So this question is totally subjective and analysis based questions, and the students are required to answer this question according to their own analysis. Next question is, how does the novel relate to feminist literature? Before going to this question, we have to know what is feminism. Feminism is basically a wave or movement of 20th century, and it represents or it demands the equal right of all the genders, and the feminism especially works for the equal rights of women because women are mostly exploited or under suppressed gender. So as we know that Jane Austen is famous for her feminist based literature, this novel can also be considered as feminist literature, as a part of feminist literature, because in this novel female characters are overwhelming characters, and the protagonist of the novel is also a female character, I mean to say Elizabeth Bennet. And despite these things, despite this phenomena, the female characters in this novel are shown suppressed or underprivileged. The next question that may be asked about this novel is, how essential is the setting to the story? Could the story have taken place anywhere else? First of all, we have to know that what is a setting. A setting has two parts. The first one is place and the second one is time. And setting of place means that where the fictional work is written. I mean to say that what is the area, what is the country or city in which the happenings of that fictional work are being done. And the next thing is setting of time. By setting of time, we mean that what age is demonstrated in that novel. For example, if we considered this novel is written in rural areas of England, and the setting of time is the initial stage of 19th century. So the question is that what is the importance of that very setting? This setting is very much important both with respect to the time and the place, because the time of the publication of this novel, I mean the initial part of the 90th century, is very important because the themes which are represented in this novel were common in that time. And as far as the place is concerned, rural England of that time, the society of rural England of that time was the witness of all these themes. So we can say that the setting of this novel is quite accurate and well to do. So this was the question. This was also an important question. These are not the final questions. There may be hundreds and thousands of other questions about this novel, but these are the some important factors which can be asked by any examiner at university level. Before reading these questions, please go through the characters and the summary of this novel. And if you like this video, please subscribe our channel and share to others, and put your valuable feedback on comment section. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.